Fighting for their money. Customers have filed a lawsuit against 3 national banks, hoping to claim savings they say were taken from them.
The nuclear summit between President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un comes to an abrupt close. Why the president says he was unable to reach a deal.
And we're just a couple of months away from salmon season, but a discouraging forecast could mean bad news for both anglers and our ecosystem. Complaints are stacking up against some of the nation's biggest banks. Washington customers allege these companies refuse to honor their families' investments.
They say the money they invested years ago has gone missing. A group of customers filed a lawsuit today, the latest in a series of legal actions. Here's King 5's Ted Land.
Everyone in this group shares a similar frustrating story. They went into a bank and tried to cash out an investment from the 80s, only to be told something along these lines.
They said, well, we can't find any record of it.
Each of them owns 1 or more bank bills, basically a CD, which earned between 7 and 14% annually. Some set aside $100, others put away thousands, which today could help buy a new car or pay off a mortgage. But now they say banks are telling them those investments are worthless.
And so it makes us pretty angry and disgusted with them.
Yeah.
But security, there's no security. Why did they sell it?
They figured I would just go away, but I didn't. I'm still here.
18 people, including this group, just filed a lawsuit against Bank of America, Key Bank, and U.S. Bank in a last-ditch effort to get their savings.
The one job a bank has is to keep a record of your money.
The bills were originally issued by Rainier Bank and Sea First Bank, long-defunct regional banks acquired by the financial giants named in the federal lawsuit. A different group of Washington customers with the same problem settled with Bank of America last year. They were in some cases seeking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
There are literally thousands of these out there.
Attorney Eric Harrison says there are likely a lot more of these stashed in safe deposit boxes and file cabinets. Their owners unaware of the hurdles they'll have to overcome should they try to claim their cash.
None of the banks named in this lawsuit would comment today. The state of Washington has little to no regulatory authority over the big nationwide banks, and they refer consumer complaints onto the federal government, the Treasury Department, which has the regulating power. In the newsroom, Ted Land, King 5 News.
Taking a look from our Queen Anne Tower cam, it's dry in Seattle, but not so much in other places.
Now let's get to Craig Herrera to talk about who's getting wet right now.
Yeah, and thankfully it's not a lot, but you head over to Pierce County, Thurston County, you could see a couple of light scattered showers. The radar shows a couple of returns there, but a lot of this is very light. It looks more impressive on the radar than it is falling out of the sky. We've got this system just to the west, and that wraparound moisture is what's sending the moisture our direction. Most of it's over into Portland, but as we look at the futurecast for this evening, you could still see a couple of light scattered showers, mostly in the form of rain. Snowfall levels are pretty high up into the foothills. You get a couple flurries there, though. By tomorrow, we start to see this exit, and we will do this again tomorrow with more sunshine during the afternoon. We haven't actually been this warm today. We got up to the upper 40s. The last time we did this was back on February 2nd. So we'll do this again tomorrow, but we still have a dry northwest flow coming in right out of Canada, keeping us in the upper 40s into tomorrow as we go into Friday, and it looks like that trend will carry us into the weekend as well. But the good news is at least you got some sunshine, so sunglasses to go with the cooler conditions out there. I'll have your 7-day forecast already coming up in just a bit.
Okay, thank you so much, Craig. An abrupt ending to the U.S.-North Korea nuclear summit. President Trump was not able to reach a deal with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The president says he couldn't agree to remove all economic sanctions against North Korea for what Kim offered in exchange.
They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that.
I'm glad that the president walked away from that. Diplomacy is important. We always support it, but the prospect for success seemed dim.
But North Korea challenged the president's account, insisting it had asked only partial sanctions relief in exchange for shutting down its main nuclear complex. Right now, there are no plans for a third summit. Today, President Trump stopped off at Elmendorf-Richardson Air Force Base in Alaska today on his way back from Vietnam. It appeared to be a routine fuel stop at the base, but the president decided to address Air Force personnel there. He thanked them for their service protecting our country. He also hinted the Department of Defense would be getting a budget increase this year.
First Lady Melania Trump is coming to the Seattle area on Monday. A statement from the First Lady's office says she will be here to promote her Be Best initiative, which focuses on social well-being of children. The statement says the First Lady will be visiting a tech company near Seattle to tour the facility and the programs aimed at teaching online safety to children. The First Lady will also make stops next week in Tulsa and Las Vegas. President Trump's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, returned to Capitol Hill today for his third day of testimony, this time behind closed doors. The latest now from NBC's Jennifer Johnson in Washington, D.C.
Day 3 for Michael Cohen on Capitol Hill.
Mr. Cohen, what's your response to the president's team?
Cohen testifying before the House Intelligence Committee behind closed doors. President Trump's former lawyer and fixer ignited Congress Wednesday, calling the president a racist, con man, and a cheat. President Trump, who watched some of the hearing from Vietnam, fired back.
He lied a lot, but it was very interesting because he didn't lie about one thing. He said no collusion with the Russian hoax.
But Cohen's explosive testimony.
Mr. Trump knew of and directed the Trump-Moscow negotiations throughout the campaign and lied about it.
Raised new questions of possible legal trouble for the president and his family.
Who were the family members that you briefed on the Trump Tower Moscow project?
Don Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump.
Prosecutors will absolutely want to know about the role of the children in these financial transactions.
They're serious matters, and they could pose serious legal jeopardy for the president and his family members.
Republicans questioned why Cohen, who previously lied to Congress and is going to prison, was allowed to testify.
I think yesterday was all about Michael Cohen being sort of laying the predicate for the Democrats and their crazy impeachment plans.
But the House Speaker says that's premature.
An impeachment is a divisive issue in our country, and let us see what the facts are, what the law is.
More facts on the Russia investigation are expected to come out in the Mueller report. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft has pleaded not guilty to solicitation of prostitution in Florida. Kraft's attorneys have requested a trial before a judge, not a jury trial. Kraft was caught up in a sex trafficking investigation in Jupiter, Florida. Police say video evidence shows Kraft engaging in sex acts with a woman at a day spa twice in January. Kraft's attorneys say their client has not engaged in any illegal activity. Kraft will be arraigned on April 24th. A teacher's aide is under arrest after police say he abused a child with autism. It happened on an elementary school playground in Florida. Security camera footage shows the teacher's aide throwing a rubber ball several times at a 5-year-old nonverbal boy with autism. Quentin Bradley was arrested and admitted to police that he threw the ball because the child wouldn't stop crying. Bradley is currently on paid leave.
Girl Scout cookies are great for eating, and it turns out they are great for something else. Emergency drills. Close to 30,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies were delivered to a garage in New York today. The county health department decided to use them in a unique way before anybody could eat them. The cases and the pallets simulated the delivery of medical supplies in the event of a large-scale medical emergency.
Gives our staff confidence that they know that they can handle taking in an inventory this size, being able to manage it, pull orders together and distribute it out to communities that might need these medical supplies in the event of a real emergency.
Cookies. Don't worry, the Girl Scouts will still be picking up the cookies and then making their deliveries. Nobody will go without.
Coming up, good news for anglers, bad news for orcas with another salmon season just around the corner.